So this is part 6 of Terry Pratchett's Truckers. The store was big. Maskelyne thought the lorry was big, but the store was bigger. It went on forever. A maze of floor and walls and long, tiring steps. Gnomes hurried or sauntered past them on errands of their own, and there seemed to be no end of them. In fact, the word big was too small. The store needed a whole new word. In a strange way, it was even bigger than outside. Outside was so huge that you didn't really see it. It had no edges and no tops, so that you didn't actually think of it as having a size at all. It was just there. Whereas the store did have edges and a top. And they were so far away that they were, well, big. As they followed Angelo, Maskelyne made up his mind and decided to tell Grimmer first. "I'm going back," he said. She stared at him. "But we've only just arrived. But why on earth? I don't know, but it's all wrong here. It just feels wrong. I keep thinking that if I stay here any longer, I'll stop believing there's anything outside and I was born there. When I've got you all settled down, I am going out again. You can come if you like," he added, "but you don't have to. But it's warm and there's all this food." I said I couldn't explain. "I just feel that we're being, well, watched." Instinctively, she stared upwards at the ceiling, a few inches above them. Back home, anything watching them usually meant something was thinking about lunch. Then she remembered herself and gave a nervous laugh. "Don't be silly," she said. "I just don't feel safe," he said wretchedly. "You mean you don't feel wanted?" said Grimmer quietly. "What?" "Well, isn't that true? And you spend all your time scrimping and scrapping for everyone, and then suddenly you don't need to anymore. It's a funny feeling, isn't it?" She swept away. Maskelyne stood and fiddled with the binding on his spear. Odd, he thought. I never thought anyone else would think like that. He had a few dim recollections of Grimmer in the hole, always doing the laundry, or organising the old women, or trying to cook whatever it was he was managing to drag home. Odd. Fancy missing something like that. He became aware that the rest of them had stopped. The underfloor stretched away ahead of them, dimly lit by small lights fixed to the wood here and there. Ironmongery charged highly for the lights, Angelo said, and wouldn't let anyone else into the secret of controlling the electric. It was one of the things that made ironmongery so powerful. "This is the edge of haberdashery territory at the moment," he said. "And over there is millinery country. We're a bit cool with them at the moment. You're bound to find some department to take you in." He looked at Grimmer. He said. "We're going to stay together," said Granny Morky. She looked hard at Maskelyne and turned back imperiously and waved a hand at Angelo. "Go away, young man," she said. "Maskelyne, stand up straight. Now, forward." "Who are you staying forward?" said Turret. "I'm the leader, I am. It's my job giving orders." "All right," said Granny Morky, "giving them." Torret's mouth worked soundlessly. "Right," he managed. "Forward." Maskelyne's door dropped. "Where to?" he said, as the old woman shooed them along the dim space. "Well, find somewhere. I lived through the great winter of 1986, I did," said Granny Morky haughtily. "The cheek of that silly old Duke man, I nearly spoke up. He wouldn't have lasted long in the great winter, I can tell you." "No harm can befall us if we obey the thing," said Torret, patting it carefully. Maskelyne stopped. He had, he decided, had enough. "What does the thing say then?" he said sharply. "Exactly. What does it actually tell us to do now? Come on. Tell me what it says we should do now." Torret looked a bit desperate. He began. It's quite clear that if we pull together and maintain a proper..." "You're just making it up as you go along." "How dare you speak to him like that?" Grimmer began, but Maskelyne flung down his spear. "Well, I'm fed up with it," he muttered. "The thing says this, the thing says that, the thing says every blessed thing except anything that might be any use to anyone." "The thing has been handed down from gnome to gnome for hundreds of years," said Grimmer. "It's very important." Why? Grimmer looked at Torret. He licked his lips. It shows us, he began, white-faced. Move me closer to the electricity. The thing seems to be more important than... What are you all looking for that for? Said Masklin. Closer to the electricity. Torret, his hands shaking, looked down at the thing. Where there had been smooth black surfaces, there were now little dancing lights. Hundreds of them. In fact, Masklin thought, feeling slightly proud of knowing what the word meant, there were probably thousands of them. Who said that? Said Masklin. The thing dropped out of Torret's grasp and landed on the floor, where its lights glittered like 1,000 motorways at night. The gnomes watched it in horror. The thing does tell you things, said Masklin. Gosh. Torret waved his hands frantically. Not like that, not like that. It ain't supposed to talk out loud. It ain't done that before. Closer to the electricity. It wants the electricity, said Masklin. Well, I'm not going to touch it. Masklin shrugged, and then, using his spear gingerly, he pushed the thing across the floor until it was under the wires. How does it speak? It doesn't have a mouth, said Grimmer. The thing whirred. Coloured shapes flickered across its surfaces faster than Masklin's eyes could follow. Most of them were red. Torret sank to his knees. It's angry, he moaned. We shouldn't have eaten rats. We shouldn't have come here. We shouldn't... Masklin also knelt down. He touched the bright areas. Gingerly at first, but they weren't hot. He felt that strange feeling again of his mind wanting to know certain things without having the right words. When the thing has told you things before, he said slowly, you know, how we should live proper lives. Torret gave him an agonised expression. It never has, he said. But you said... It used to, moaned Torret. When old Voozle passed it on to me, he said it used to, but he said that hundreds and hundreds of years ago it just stopped. What? Said Granny Morky. All these years, my good man, you've been telling us that the thing says this, and the thing says that, and the thing says goodness knows not what. Now Torret looked like a very frightened, trapped animal. Well, said the old woman menacingly. Said Torret. What old Voozle said was, think about what the thing ought to say, and then say it. Keep people on the right path, sort of thing. Help them to get to the heavens. Very important, getting to the heavens. The thing can help you get there, he said. Most important thing about it. What? Shouted Granny. That's what he told me to do. It worked, didn't it? Masklin ignored them. The coloured lines moved over the thing in hypnotic patterns. He felt that he ought to know what they meant. It certainly meant something. Sometimes, on fine days, back in the times when he didn't have to hunt every day, he'd climb further along the bank until he could look down on the place where the lorries parked. There was a big blue board there with little shapes and pictures on it. And in the litter bins, the boxes and the papers had more shapes and pictures on them. He remembered the long argument they'd had about the chicken boxes, with the pictures of the old man with the big white whiskers on them. Several gnomes had insisted that this was a picture of a chicken, but Masklin had rather felt that humans didn't go around eating old men. There had to be more to it than that. Perhaps old men made chicken. The thing hummed again. 15,000 years have passed, it said. Masklin looked up at the others. You talk to it, Granny ordered Torret. The old man backed away. Not me. I don't know what to say, he said. Well, I ain't, snapped Granny. That's the leader's job, is that? 15,000 years have passed, the thing repeated. Masklin shrugged. It seemed to be up to him. Past what? He said. The thing gave the impression that it was thinking busily. At last it said, Do you still know the meaning of the words flight navigation and recording computer? No, said Masculine earnestly. None of them. The light pattern moved. Do you know anything about interstellar travel? No. The box gave Masculine the distinct impression that it was very disappointed in him. Do you know you came here from a place far away, it said. Oh yes, we know that. A place further than the moon? Masculine hesitated. The journey had taken a long time, and it was always possible that they had gone past the moon. He'd often seen it on the horizon, and he was certain the lorry had gone further than that. Yes, he said. Probably. Language changes over the years, said the thing thoughtfully. Does it? Said Masculine politely. What do you call this planet? I don't know what planet means either, said Masculine. An astronomical body. Masculine looked blank. What is your name for this place? It's called the store. The store. The lights moved, as if the thing was thinking again. Young man, I don't want to stand here all day exchanging nonsense with the thing, said Granny Morky. What we need to do now is sort out where we're going and what we're going to do when we get there. That's right, said Torek defiantly. Do you even remember that you were shipwrecked? I'm Masculine, said Masculine, and I don't know who shipwrecked is. The lights changed again. Later, when he got to know the thing better, Masculine always thought that particular pattern was its way of sighing deeply. My purpose is to serve you and guide you, said the thing. See, said Torret, who was feeling a bit out of things. He was right about that. Masculine prodded the box. You've been keeping a bit quiet about it lately then, he said. The thing hummed. This was to maintain internal power. However, I can now use ambient electricity. Oh, that's nice, said Grimmer. You mean you sort of drink up the light, said Masculine. That will suffice as an explanation for now. Why didn't you talk before then, said Masculine. I was listening. Oh, and now I await instructions. In where? Said Grimmer. I think it wants us to tell us what it wants us to do, said Masculine, and he sat back on his heels and watched the lights. What can you do? He said. I can translate, calculate, triangulate, assimilate, correlate, and extrapolate. I don't think we want anything like that, said Masculine. Do we want anything like that? He asked the others. Granny Morky appeared to think about it. No, she said eventually. I don't think we want any of that stuff. Another banana would be nice, mind. I think all we really want to do is go home and be safe, said Masculine. Go home? That's right. And be safe? Yes. Later on, those 5 words became one of the most famous quotations in gnome history. They got taught in schools. They got carved in stone. And it's sad, therefore, that at the time no one thought that they were particularly important. All that happened was that the thing said, computing. Then all its lights died, except a small green one which began to flash. Thank goodness for that, said Grimmer. What a horrible voice. What shall we do now? According to that Angelo boy, said Granny, we have to live very sad lives.